Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cooking Ain't Complicated. My name's Chef Saint. I want to thank you for joining me again. Today we're going to make one of my favorite breakfast foods growing up, chorizo. Now, when most people think about chorizo, they think about this questionable meat with the red greasiness in these tubes. Or you can think of a little more higher quality like this. Actually looks like sausage, but again, kind of iffy. But now I'm going to teach you how to make it from scratch. It is literally one of the easiest things I've done. It's basically just combining the right flavors together and letting it loose. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine all the right ingredients and we're going to turn it into chorizo con huevos, which is one of my favorite dishes. My father made it for me all the time growing up. And it's because of him that I'm into this, and yeah, I hope you will be too. Stick around, we're gonna make chorizo from scratch. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is get yourself some good meat. Right now we've got pork, sirloin. I got a really good deal on it at Costco, so heck yeah. We're using, on purpose, very lean meat, not very much fat in it. We want the fat content to be kind of tamped down as opposed to the store-bought chorizo where you have no control over it. It is very fatty. I do enjoy using the oil for cooking, but in this particular regard, we want to try and make it a little bit leaner, a little bit more healthy for you. So we went with a low fat content pork sirloin. And all you got to do is feed that into your food processor. Now mine is attached to my KitchenAid. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the food processor, or the meat grinder part of it, is frozen. You want that to be frozen so the meat grease doesn't congeal on it while you're trying to grind your meat. It's a simple procedure. Just throw the whole thing, this whole detachable unit, into the freezer. It's easy to do. So we're going to grind this up and we're going to get moving. And as you can see here, we got our ground pork. Nice, lean, no real fat content. It's gonna be great, trust me. I tried this already. Don't think I haven't tried this. I wouldn't steer you wrong. Now we're gonna start adding our spice mixture to the rub. So we got half a cup of, I use garlic vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. You can use a white vinegar if you want to. But I chose the garlic vinegar because I like garlic. And this is a very fragrant, delicious variety. We've got 4 tablespoons of garlic, give or take. More give than take. Throw that in there. Get everybody out. This is what gives it its power, or its color, the powerful red color that chorizo has. It's called achiote powder. And you just, I think I got like 2.5 tablespoons of achiote powder. Throw that right on top. Okay. We got 4 tablespoons of Hungarian paprika. Throw that. And now we got a little bit of a mixture of things. We've got chili powder. I'm gonna throw that in there. Also, a little bit of garlic powder because why not? Table salt, and I'll put the exact quantities in the link for you guys in the description. So, some table salt, coriander, cumin, oregano, black pepper, ground black pepper, and cinnamon and clove. You don't want to go too heavy on those ones. Boy, do they just take over. So now, we're going to blend that. First with a spoon, then with my hands. That's why I've got the gloves on. You just work that all in there. Roll up your sleeves. Take off your watch. And get into it. You want all of the meat to be thoroughly incorporated with that spice mixture. You don't want any clumps. Achiote powder. I'm telling you. Once that's complete, get a bowl and dump your mixture in. Make sure you get a little on your table. That way people think you've been working. Okay, so now what you do is you take your bowl, you cover it with saran wrap, and you put it in the refrigerator and let it chill out. Ideally, you can do it in 2 to 3 hours, but I like to let mine go overnight. It really lets the flavors meld together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this bad boy in the refrigerator, and I'll see you in the morning for some chorizo con huevos. All right, so the first chorizo we're gonna try out is the cheap, bottom barrel, everyday kind of chorizo. This stuff is about $1. Chorizo de puerco, pork chorizo. Now, here's what you don't do. As I made the mistake after eating this stuff for years and years and years of reading the ingredients, and this is what got me off of it. So, pork byproduct consisting of salivary glands and lymph nodes and fat. And then paprika, soy flour, vinegar, salt, spices, all that. Salivary glands and lymph nodes. Okay, so I've had some questionable pork. I enjoy hot dogs, don't get me wrong. But, anyways, let's cook it up and see what it looks like. Pasty. I haven't made this in a long time. You can see as it's cooking already the high fat content in the oil and the chunks of fat. But also note the consistency, how pasty that really is. Very gummy, very, I don't know the right word to use. Now, let's take a look at the end result. Already, look at the paper towel. Greasy. Now I like cooking with that grease. I will saute vegetables with that grease. Don't get me wrong. But the end result, I mean, look at this. Look at that. That comes from cooking with it's a very fatty cut of meat, and it's just soaking in it. All right, now let's cook the middle of the road version. Until recently, this has been my go-to. As you can see, it already looks a lot more like regular sausage. Actual meat. Less like paste. Which is why, if you're going for chorizo con huevos, it's not a bad alternative. Alright, as you can see, the texture of this is a lot more actual meat. Less pasty. In a side-by-side comparison. A lot less of that grease coming off of it, owing to more meaty content versus the fat, but you can still see, check this out. It's still absolutely soaking in it. Look at that. And that's all fat, that's calories. That's if you're trying to not eat so much fat, this is what you're trying to avoid. All right, now we're gonna level the playing field and go with ours. It has been in the refrigerator for about 20 hours, something like that, overnight. Made with lean pork, not very much fat. I'm gonna take a nice big healthy dollop of that right now. I want you to take a look at this pan. You see a little bit, but what are you not seeing? All that oil. Absent, because you're cooking with lean pork. Okay. Now let's take a look. Let's look at this. Before we were swimming in that grease. Both times, actually. It's the only reason I put a paper towel down, just so you guys can see the comparison. Brand X, mid-level. Didn't even penetrate to the bottom of that paper towel. But I bet you this one did. I'll even bet you this one did. So, the lesson we've learned here is homemade, you can make it and control the fat content. You can control how much goes into it. And you can control the flavor. Spicy and delicious. So now, we're gonna take all this away. We're gonna come back. We're gonna make some chorizo con huevos. I've been waiting all day. Let's do this. So now, we're gonna make chorizo con huevos. One of my favorite, all-time favorite breakfast foods. Take a healthy dollop of our already proven to be amazing chorizo. And what you want to do is you brown that down basically like we did before, till it's fully cooked and I don't know, ground beef texture-ish. Oh, and it smells amazing. So at about your halfway point, what we're going to do is we're going to throw in some pepper and onion that I've already cooked down with a little olive oil. Now when you get it almost to the point where it's done, scooch it all over to one side, build a little wall, add in your egg. In this case I used 4. Scramble it like you're making scrambled eggs. Keep it moving, don't let it burn to the bottom. And then slowly start working it into the meat mixture. Now we're going to do a couple of things in rapid fire order here. Take that off. Bring that there. And I happen to find some of the biggest rotten tortillas ever. My cutting board for size. How's that? Alright, so we're going to lay down a nice dollop in the middle. Now I will let you know I am not the best tortilla roller in the world. I try hard. I should get points for that. So we throw that down in the middle. Don't need either of these. While it's still hot, we're gonna throw down a nice layer of queso fresco. Don't go nuts. We're not making a lasagna or anything. What a good amount. Little pinch of cilantro. A couple of super thin slices of the radish. Just like that. And one of my absolute favorite parts, squeeze a lime. Okay, now let's see if I can fold this bad boy. Just like that. And there we have my take on chorizo con huevos. Fresh, easy as sin, and wonderful. And as you know, way less fat content. So if you're trying to be a little bit more health conscious, you can know what you're putting into your body. The chorizo itself was easy enough to make. This you saw was a snap. I want to thank you guys for joining me again for another episode of Cooking Ain't Complicated. Join us next week. I can't wait to see you again. In the meantime, I'm going to crack a beer because this is not a breakfast food anymore. It is now lunch. And I'm going to crack a beer and have some chorizo. See you next time. Remember, eat your art.